Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. I haven't done one for a while, but I'm going to be back today with basically a Barcelona squad plan, a potential transfer section on Barcelona for the upcoming season. There's not a lot of football going on right now, but there is some transfer talk. There is some talk of who's going to be here next season, who's not, what's going to be happening with the squad. So I thought I'm going to go through each position and talk about who I would keep, who I would sell, what I would do with the squad, what sort of things I would be looking at, and I'm also going to be talking about what the club are looking at and what I think Bartomeu and the rest of the board, such as Abid Ali and the sporting team, what I think they're going to be doing with this squad. So we're going to have a big overview. I want to do more of these videos in the future actually, because with Barcelona the news, it changes every 24 hours really with who's coming, who's going, what's going on. So I'm going to give my best balanced account on what I think we should be doing, what I think could be happening, and give myself, you know, a good prediction of what's going to be happening in this summer, or, well, whenever the transfer window opens, guys. We don't know what's going to be happening, of course, with the current situation, but we can look over our squad, look what areas we need to improve, and I'm going to give my view on what I think should be happening. And basically, guys, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be going through each position. I'm going to be saying what I think, you know, we could be doing to give ourselves a really good chance of competing in next season and using the players that we need to. So without any further ado, let's get into this. So of course, let's start with the goalkeepers. Let's start with ter Stegen. He's going to be our #1 next season if we can manage to tie him down to that contract. I expect that Bartomeu, even with all his flaws, will just about be able to get ter Stegen over the line because he's comfortable living here. And yeah, he's going to be our #1 goalkeeper for the long-term future and for the near future. You know, he's just our #1. We love ter Stegen here at Barcelona. Then we move on to Neto. I'd definitely be tempted to keep him next season, but I actually think that Bartomeu could be tempted to sell him, and that's going to be quite a common theme in this video. There are going to be players that I think, you know what, let's keep, you know, the squad strengthened, let's keep it nice and competitive, but I think Bartomeu next summer is going to be desperate. He's going to be scrambling for funds around the squad. You know, players out on loan, players who are already here, players who maybe shouldn't be sold. But if they can give us 20 to 30 million, then they will be offloaded. And I think it's the same situation with Neto as it will be with a few other players in this video that I'll go on to. You know, I'd be tempted to keep him. I'll go on to another player who I'd also be tempted to keep us on #2. But, you know, if there wasn't a good offer coming in, then I think he'll stay. But if Bartomeu sees the money, Neto, he'll be offloaded like a pack of meat. So he's an interesting one. The other guy I want to talk about is Iñaki Peña. He's the B team goalkeeper. I think him and ter Stegen are kind of the future of the goalkeepers at Barcelona. I really do. So I think next season could be a good opportunity to use Peña. But I'm guessing in real life, you know, we'll try and sell Neto, we'll loan out Peña, and then we'll try and look for someone like Onana to bring in. You know, that's the sort of thing that I can see Bartomeu doing if I was to give a prediction. But you know, for me, I would either just keep Neto and then keep Peña playing in the B team, or maybe even give him a loan spell, to be fair, if he's going to be playing regular football, and maybe a Segunda La Liga club. So yeah, but if not, I would just sell Neto, keep all that money for other positions, and then use Iñaki Peña as our #2. Cannot see that happening anytime soon, but if Barca were to be going back to the ways of trusting the youth when they're good enough, then we would have ter Stegen as our #1 and Iñaki Peña as our #2. Into the right back area, for me, it's actually quite simple. There are only really 3 names we need to be talking about, in my opinion. First of all, for me, I would just keep Semedo and Sergio Roberto. The right back area is definitely probably one of our weakest of the club right now. Same with the left back area, to be honest. We don't really have the best players there, but Semedo's coming into his own now, and I just don't think there's actually anyone feasible. Maybe, you know, Kimmich at Bayern Munich, but no one who we can actually attain who's better than Semedo in that position right now. And the right back area, I think in world football actually, it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit naff. I don't really know if there's that many good ones going around. There's been talks of that swap deal with Cancelo for Semedo, but I just wouldn't do that. I don't see the need for it. And unfortunately for me, guys, like Neto, I think Semedo is going to be those ones who is tossed onto the market, either in a swap deal for Neymar or Lautaro maybe, or either for a swap deal with Cancelo, or just to get, you know, a good 45-50 million out of him, and then maybe even bring in Emerson, the right back who's currently out on loan at Betis, 1 year early. I would just leave him out at Betis, honestly, Emerson, and then bring him back the season after. But with the way we want to be scrambling around money, Semedo, he probably will be on the market. If we get a good offer, then you know what, Semedo could be leaving the club. But for me, I would just keep Roberto and Semedo for this season. I think the right back area is certainly something that maybe worries me a little bit for the future. I would probably, you know, in the next 3 or 4 years, just use Semedo and Emerson as our right backs, but they don't exactly suit Barcelona that well, unfortunately. But anyway, for next season, guys, which is what we want to be discussing, I would keep Roberto and Semedo. I think we could be seeing someone like Emerson or Cancelo come in to replace Semedo, though, if it benefits us financially. On to the centre-back positions. This is where it gets a little more interesting for me. I think we've got 4 centre-backs who I want to have in our squad next season. I want it to be this pattern. I want Piqué and Lenglet, and then I also want as backup Todibo and a new signing. For me, it's simple, but let's go through from the top, guys. Piqué and Longley, they will be staying. I'm happy about that. That's good. They will be at the club next season, and that's wonderful. Todibo, interestingly, we thought we'd stupidly let go of him for us Barca fans. We thought Bartomeu had messed it all up, and he had done, but because of the fact that many clubs, they don't have a lot of money right now, Todibo, for Schalke, they actually can't activate his buyout fee, which was 25 million in the clause for the contract he had when he went out on loan to them. They were going to pay 25 million for him at the end of the contract. That was going to be simple for them. They'd got themselves an absolute bargain at centre half. But no, it doesn't look like as of now they're going to be able to afford that. So Todibo is going to arrive back at Barcelona before pre-season. That gives us a great opportunity to use him. Please, on the love of God, can we use Todibo as our centre back? He is, for some reason, just not rated at Barcelona. He's a really, really good young centre-back. One of the best in the world in terms of the young centre-backs right now and up and coming. I don't see how no one at the club sees it. I'm hoping, someone, I don't know, Eder Sarabia, someone says something to Setien or Bartomeu. We just need someone to figure out that we need to use Todibo, and he's the future of our right-hand side of the defence, the centre-back area. He's the next one who we can put in line ahead of Piqué, and he can secure our defence for the future. But in the summer, I can see Bartomeu tossing Todibo into another deal such as the Neymar one, or even just loaning him out again with another option to buy up like 30-35 million or something. I can definitely see Todibo being on the market, unfortunately. And then we move on to the next section, guys, which is, well, we have Umtiti at the moment, and then we also have someone who I want to bring in probably to replace Umtiti. In real life, I think Barcelona will try and sell Umtiti, will try and get money for him, but it's just whether any clubs will actually be wanting to pay 50 million for him in the current times. I'm not sure they will, and that could actually see Umtiti stay at the club maybe for just one more summer. But either way, I think whether we keep Umtiti or whether we get rid of him next summer, either way, I have quite a clear replacement in mind. It's not someone that the papers have been talking about. It's not Diego Carlos. It's not Luis Felipe. It's not Upamecano, the classic man who goes around every club's radar. It's actually Pau Torres. He's a left-footed centre-back for Villarreal. He suits Barcelona to a T, and I would bring him in to replace Umtiti. If we can get, a good 40-50 million from Umtiti and get in Pau Torres for a similar price, who's so much younger and honestly could go on to be better than Big Samuel, then that would be great. I think it's a little bit sad to just ship off Umtiti, but he's not the same player that he was. And if we can get Pau Torres in next to Todibo, then we have Piqué and Longley in there too. Players like Araujo and Cuenca in the B team. For me, we've got a perfect balance of centre-backs. And again, I cannot see Bartomeu doing this. I really cannot. I think Bartomeu will keep Piqué and Longley. I think he'll also then try and use Araujo from the B team because we would have got rid of Todibo and Umtiti and everyone else who are trying to scramble someone else in there. And then, we'll probably try and get another centre-back from God knows where. I think Pau Torres and Todibo as substitutes to Piqué and Longley is absolutely perfect, and it keeps it really competitive in that area too. It's brilliant in my opinion, but you guys know with Bartomeu, it could honestly go another way. So yeah, I've given my thoughts on what I would do with the defence. And there you go, guys. That's what I think Bartomeu's going to be doing. Left back, kind of similar to right back, isn't our finest area on the field. We've got two massively underperforming left backs right now, in my opinion, in Jordi Alba and Junior Firpo. And to be honest, it's not a good situation, and Barca certainly could look to the market to strengthen. Alba will stay, that's absolutely for sure. Junior, I think they could try and offload, but I'm not sure who really wants to be taking him in. That'll be interesting whether the clubs will be willing to pay around 25-30 million. I'm not sure they will. And unfortunately, if Barca get rid of Junior, who will they bring in? Because at the moment it's looking like they'll bring in someone like Kazawa, who just doesn't fit whatsoever. And, it's not a good situation, to be fair. But in my opinion, I would just keep money. I wouldn't, try and waste any money on this. I would keep Alba and Junior, train them specifically, and try and make sure that they do perform to the top level next year. We need, arm around the shoulder of both of those players. And then, in the next couple of years, I would look to players like Grimaldo, like Cucurella, and if we're down, start improving on the big stage, then we could even have a look at him. These sorts of young names who we can definitely bring in the near future. But for next season, let's save our money and let's not do any meaningless transactions that I can see Bartomeu trying. Let's keep our players, let's keep Alaba and Junior, because on paper those are two really, really good fullbacks, That's kind of like the Spain fullback, and then we've also got, an up-and-coming Spanish fullback. So that works well for me. It's just a shame they've been underperforming. Let's hope they can improve next season, eh? On to central midfielders, and oh boy, do we have a lot of them. So let's just start. I have quite a specific plan about what I do about the midfield next year to keep it competitive. If we get this one right, we could have a massive and excellent midfield coming up in the next couple of years. So I think Busquets, De Jong and Arthur will all stay, and I completely agree. Those guys should be our midfield three for next season. And then for me personally, I would have Aleñá and Riqui Puig as options behind them. I think if we sell Vidal and Rakitic, which I hope we could actually be doing in the summer, then I think that Riqui Puig and Aleñán need to be the replacements for them. And then we've also got guys from the B team, players like Monchu, Jandro Orellana, who can also come in and fill the boots of players, if we need be. Then, guys, we have 5 central midfielders. Yep, De Jong, Busquets, Artur, and then we have Aleñán and Riqui Puig. Those will be the 5 for me, with Rakitic and Vidal. We'll be getting funds for them. And then we have an option to maybe bring someone in. I'd look to players on the market, such as Marc Roca from Espanyol, such as Fabian Ruiz, who could be a little bit expensive, and he's being looked at by Real Madrid, which kind of annoys me whenever I see news about it, because I really think he's a top player. I love Fabian. He's such an option for midfield, and he kind of gives us something that we don't have right now. But yeah. To discuss the departures of Vidal and Rakitic, I think Rakitic could be offloaded to Sevilla for around 18-20 million, and the same sort of price to Vidal to a team such as Inter Milan. So that will give us some money. That will give us near 40 million. And then what we can do, guys, is just put Aleñán and Riqui Puig right into the first team, use them there because they're perfectly capable, and they give us more than a lot of players who would actually be trying to sign. They'll give us more than an Ndombele or someone silly who Barcelona have been looking at in the market. Aleñán and Riqui have to be used, in my opinion, if we are going to be progressing with the midfield. And I worry, I do, because I think Bartomeu is the sort of guy who will look to put Aleñán on loan again, or who will look to give Aleñán to Inter Milan on a loan deal or something, or even on a permanent transfer as part of the Lautaro Martinez deal. And I can honestly also see Riqui Puig being loaned out somewhere as well, just to get him out of his face, because he doesn't want youth players trying to threaten the first team, it looks like, which is a real shame. Someone else who I think I mentioned is Oriol Busquets. He's currently out on loan, but he's going to be coming back in pre-season. So it's interesting to see whether he is used as maybe another centre-back, maybe even in midfield. I'm interested to see what we do with Oriol Busquets, if I'm being honest. I haven't been able to watch a lot of him of late. But yeah, as I said, guys, I worry for what Bartomeu is going to do with the midfield. For me, it's quite clear. We have De Jong, Busquets, Arthur. Then we have then we have Riqui Puig and Aleñán also. And then you can also bring in someone else. You look at options such as Thiago, maybe even guys, Marc Roca, Fabian Ruiz. I think that's simple. That's really easy for me. And that would be such a great plan for the future of our midfield, to have like 6 incredible midfielders like that. How amazing would that be, with the help of the likes of Monchu and Jandro Orellana from the B team? We've got talent all over the pitch, and you even look to Ilaix Moriba, who's up and coming as well. That really excites me. So I think we've got such a good midfield. It's just whether Bartomeu does indeed axe it all in the summer. And if he gets rid of Aleñán and Riqui Puig, that'll be almost unforgivable really. 2 of the brightest Spanish prospects in world football right now from such a young age. He cannot let them go. Here we go, guys, onto the wingers. The old forgotten position, apparently, for Barcelona these days. We just seem to not really care about them in the transfer market. We don't sign enough. We've just got a bunch of narrow players, a bunch of centre forwards, cams, and there's just no one left, guys, on the wings, which is so important to stretch defences. And for players like Messi to find options, we need wingers. That's why even when Dembele's on the pitch, it's just so much more effective than when we have 3 narrow attackers like a Coutinho or a Griezmann next to Suarez up there, along with Messi. To me, it doesn't work. You need balance on either side. So luckily for us, guys, all is not lost, because we do indeed have plenty of options, which really excites me. I'm going to go through all of them now. We've got Messi, of course, who starts as a winger, quite controversially. I find it hard because I want to be playing the 4-3-3, but I wouldn't play Messi in midfield. I still want the spearhead up front with either Suarez or Lautaro, but then where does Messi play? So for me, it's really difficult. I'd still keep on starting him on the right, which is really controversial, but unless we completely change up the formation, then I don't really know what else to do with that. It's a really sticky one. We've also got Dembele, of course, who of course, really exciting. Whether he gets used in a swap deal with Neymar, I don't really know. Also, Trincao is going to be coming in, which is really interesting. He can play off the right-hand side, keep that width, similar to Carlos Perez, I'm hoping. We also, of course, have Ansu Fati, we have Alex Collado, and then we also have Pedri. So, how many exciting, brilliant young wingers. I read out these names and it fills me with joy, because we've got so many great players who can actually put in great performances in a position that we're really weak on right now. We have so much youth in there, Dembele, Collado, Pedri, Trincao, Ansu Fati. That is exciting, guys. It really is. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with these guys. So let me read you through my plan for what would be to do with our wingers anyway. I think we have Messi, of course, then we have Dembele. I'd either keep him, or if we can use him in a swap deal with Neymar, which is feasible, then I would do that. I don't mind either. I think both offer us so much. If the Neymar deal is possible, if we're not spending stupid amounts of money on it, if we're just swapping Dembele for Neymar, I don't think it's the worst option, simply because Dembele, he basically doesn't even play football for us. But if he's going to stay fit, then having him, he's nearly 10 years younger than Neymar, it could be massively beneficial when he keeps that width and pace for Messi. I would also then have Trincao as a sub on the right, and Ansu Fati as a sub on the left. I'd keep Collado in the B team with the hope that they're in the Segunda next year, getting regular first team opportunities as well when we can. And then also I'd actually loan out Pedri. He's still young, he's still an up and coming player, he's been doing so well at Las Palmas, and if we can give him to someone like Cadiz maybe if they get promoted, if we can give him to Ajax, for me that would be really, really amazing, and that's a perfect plan to do with our wingers personally. As I say guys, I look at what we could be doing in our wingers, and it's so good, isn't it? But unfortunately, with Bartomeu, this most likely won't happen. Dembele, I'm guessing, will probably be tried to include in a deal. We're trying to scramble in all sorts of players, and then maybe last minute it will break down. He'll end up staying and then getting another injury. As for Ansu Fati and Trincao, God knows. I think we'll manage to keep Trincao. I think Ansu Fati, you just pray we're going to keep him, but they'll either toss him into the B team or then even loan him out, which I hate to see. Pedri, I think they are going to loan out unless Setien wants him. I think a loan will be much more beneficial to him though, and just keep other players like Trincao, Neymar or Dembele. You've got Messi there as well, and then also of course Ansu Fati. And yeah, as I said guys, I just think that I'd also have Collado there in the B team, and he can also come in, if an injury happens. But unfortunately, we just don't know what's going to happen, guys. The wingers have been forgotten about at Barcelona. We've signed way too many narrow players. And I'm just hoping that Bartomeu and the sporting directives, they do the right thing here, because it is plain and obvious to me of what we can do with this side. But I worry about what they're going to do, if I'm being honest. I also want to mention Coutinho here. I didn't know whether to mention him in midfielders or wingers. I'll put him in wingers because why not? I think that he's going to be sold in the summer. I think that's probably the right decision too. Although Setien has been speaking about quite recently, actually, how much he admires Coutinho, how much he wants him in his side next season. That he's counting on him. I find that a bit weird, and I wouldn't really be up to using Katina next season. I think we've got better midfielders, we've got better wingers than him, and he doesn't really fit in our side anyway. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think, if we can sign Neymar on the wing, like I was saying, then great, but only if it's feasible. If not, I'd save the money and then use it on other players, such as, Pau Torres, a new centre midfielder, maybe Marc Roca, Fabian Ruiz, who knows, Thiago perhaps. Then also, of course, Lautaro Martinez up front. So, yeah. The whole winger situation, that's what I do. I'm worried about what Bartomeu could be doing, axing a few here and there. But all in all, we've got to pay more focus to the wingers in order to give us the best results on the football pitch. On to our strikers now. We've got about 4 names to go through here. And it's interesting. Firstly, Luis Suarez. He's going to be staying and I would keep him. He's a good option. He's always a player I value on the pitch. And he'd be a great alternative, in my opinion, to Lautaro Martinez, who he's been in the newspapers every day now. I would agree, I would try and sign him either by paying that 111 million release clause or by offering 90 million plus Arturo Vidal, which should make up about 111 million in terms of player value. So I think, either way it's a fair deal. I think Inter should be accepting both. They're both solid deals. So Suarez and Lautaro as our 2 strikers, great. But that leaves Griezmann in a really, really bad spot. And it just does, guys, because I don't think when he was signed, there was actually a proper plan as to, well, we're going to have Griezmann as our striker when Suarez goes, because that's clearly not the case. As you can see, we're signing Lautaro, and that's probably the correct thing to do, because Griezmann, he doesn't work as a striker, and he doesn't really work as a left wing either, as has been proven. So I don't know what we're going to do with Griezmann. It's a really bad situation. I would keep Braithwaite as a valuable option. I like his attitude, I like his courage, and I like what he offers to the team, actually. He's a good alternative. But I do actually think that Braithwaite, like Neto, like Semedo, like a few others, if a good offer comes in, he will just be offloaded, and it's simple as that, because Barca will see him as money and not really as a player who can help the team. That's the way the board, it runs things these days, I'm afraid. As for Griezmann, guys, giving him to PSG, I think, as part of the Neymar deal would be a little bit harsh. I'd be tempted to keep him as, an option in attack. Say we don't sign Neymar and only sign Lautaro, then we could have him. He can cover all 3 bases across the attack. That could be useful, but if Neymar does come, then it's going to be hard for Griezmann to stay. It's as simple as that. I think if Neymar and Lautaro sign, they're both Griezmann and Dembele, and also Coutinho will most likely not be here next season. But say, Neymar doesn't come, which is looking quite highly likely right now, guys. Let's not get drawn into the old dramas as we do every summer, eh? Then, of course, Griezmann would also potentially stay, just as another option in attack. So there you go, guys. I've tried to go through every single player option. I tried to go through every single position. And I wanted to just show, guys, that we have actually got a bright future. I think it all looks a bit doom and gloom for Barcelona, but we've got so many exciting young players, so many cool players we could bring in as well. You know, Lautaro, Neymar, Fabian Ruiz. We got Pau Torres. We got cool players waiting in the running. You know, I like Trincao, Collado, Monchu, all these people from the B team and stuff. It's exciting, and I think we can't forget that. I think the reason we're forgetting that is because we know they're not really going to be used. You know, players like Todibo, an up-and-coming centre-back, how great would it to see him get so much action next season? But that doesn't look like it's a possibility, unfortunately, under Bartomeu right now. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to say about this video. I tried to go through every single player, give my opinion on what I would do, see what could be happening in the transfer market. I've tried to offer almost every single name that's been around Barcelona right now, and just go through what I would do with the squad, and also give a balanced and informed note about what I think is going to be happening with Bartomeu after reading a lot of news, and also having seen the way Barcelona work over a couple of years now, giving my best account of what I think could be passing up when the transfer window does indeed open. So yeah, guys, that was today's video. Please do drop a like if you did enjoy. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. What would you guys do? What do you think is going to happen? Give your thoughts on a certain player, whatever springs to mind throughout the video. Honestly, I'll reply to every single comment, so please go and leave them there. And if you are new around here, then do indeed subscribe, because I will be producing about weekly content now. I think it's fine. I can do a big video each week discussing a topic in football that interests me. So yeah, that's what the format we're going to go for now. But anyway, guys, for now, please, as I said, leave all your thoughts, like, subscribe, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.